His name was Silas Jane, a wealthy Chicago area horse trainer with a history of issues and connections to organized activity. Jane would eventually be convicted of involvement in his own brother's passing. And some investigators believed he knew exactly what happened to Barbara and Patricia Grimes. But proving it would be another matter entirely. A millionaire horse trainer with questionable connections, a suspicious incident, and a deathbed confession that pointed directly to the Grimes sisters. This is where the case takes its darkest turn. Silas Jane was not a good man. By all accounts, he was known for being aggressive, ruthless, and connected to some of Chicago's most dangerous people. He ran a horse stable and had been suspected in multiple incidents over the years. In 1970, Jane was convicted of hiring someone to harm his own brother George in a dispute over inheritance and business dealings. He had a documented history, no question about it. But here's where it connects to the Grimes sisters. In the late 1950s, Jane's stable was located not far from where the girls were found. And witnesses had reported seeing the sisters in the area of his property. One of Jane's employees, a man named William "Red" Ouimet, later told investigators he'd seen suspicious activity at the stable around the time the girls disappeared. He was too afraid to come forward earlier. Ouimet claimed that Jane and several associates had used the stable for various questionable activities, and that young girls had occasionally been brought there. His testimony was concerning but difficult to corroborate. Then came the deathbed confession. A man named Kenneth Hansen, who had worked for Silas Jane in the 1950s, was terminally ill in 2005. He told investigators he knew what happened to the Grimes sisters. Hansen claimed that he, along with others in Jane's circle, had picked up the two girls, taken them to the stable, and that something had gone wrong there. He said they were kept frozen before being left on German Church Road. This would explain the confusing examination results. Why they seemed to have passed recently despite being missing for nearly a month. They'd been frozen, literally kept in cold storage. Hansen's story matched details that had never been made public. He described the girls, their clothing, and specific circumstances of that night. But Hansen passed away before he could testify in court. In 1995, decades after the incident, Kenneth Hansen was actually charged in connection with the Grimes case. The prosecution built their case on Hansen's statements, witness testimony, and circumstantial evidence linking him to Silas Jane. The trial was a media sensation. After all these years, could justice finally be served for Barbara and Patricia? Could their mother, who'd spent decades demanding answers, finally get closure? But in 1996, Kenneth Hansen was acquitted. The jury found the evidence insufficient. Too much time had passed. Too many witnesses were gone. The physical evidence was long lost. The case remained officially unsolved. So what really happened to Barbara and Patricia Grimes? After 60 years, mountains of evidence, dozens of suspects, and multiple confessions, we still don't know for certain. But there are theories. Theory 1. The girls were picked up by someone they trusted, or at least someone who seemed trustworthy. In 1956, accepting rides wasn't uncommon, and teenage girls were often more trusting than they'd be today. This person or persons took the girls somewhere isolated, possibly Silas Jane's stable or another location in the area. What happened next could have been accidental or intentional, but the girls didn't survive. The responsible party panicked. Instead of immediately leaving them, they kept them frozen to buy time, hoping the investigation would die down. This explains the confusing forensic evidence about timing. Theory 2. The girls accepted a ride from someone specifically targeting young women. This was sadly common in the 1950s, before society fully acknowledged these dangers. The sightings of the girls in the days after December 28 could have been accurate. They could have been held somewhere for some time before the tragic outcome. Theory 3, and perhaps the most disturbing, multiple people were involved. This wasn't a lone individual but a group, possibly connected to organized activity or underground operations in Chicago. This would explain why so many different suspects emerged, why confessions contained accurate details, and why the case was never solved. Too many people knew and they all protected each other. The truth is, we may never know exactly what happened on December 28, 1956. The physical evidence is gone. Most of the witnesses are no longer living. The case files have been picked over for decades. But what we do know is heartbreaking. Two young girls who loved Elvis Presley, who were excited about seeing a movie for the 12th time, who giggled over Cokes at a restaurant counter, never made it home. Their mother, Loretta Grimes, spent the rest of her life searching for answers. She passed in 1989, never knowing what happened to her daughters or why. She's laid to rest near Barbara and Patricia. The Brighton Theater where the girls saw their last movie is long gone. German Church Road, where they were found, has been renamed. But the mystery endures. Modern investigators have used new technology to review the case. DNA wasn't a tool in 1956, but could it provide answers today? Unfortunately, most of the physical evidence has been lost or degraded beyond analysis. The case remains officially open. It's a cold case but not a forgotten one. Occasionally a new tip comes in. Someone claims to have new information. But so far, nothing has broken the case wide open. If the Kenneth Hansen theory is correct, then justice was never served. He passed away a free man. Silas Jane served time for his brother's case but never for the Grimes sisters. The truth may have gone with them. But here's what stays with me about this case. How many other cases like this exist? How many teenage girls in the 1950s disappeared with fanfare, only to be forgotten as time passed? The Grimes sisters were fortunate in one tragic way: their case stayed in the public eye. Elvis's plea helped. Their mother's tireless advocacy helped. But how many others just vanished? Today we have Amber Alerts, DNA databases, surveillance cameras everywhere, cell phone tracking. In 1956, once you disappeared, you became a ghost. The Grimes sisters are proof of that. Barbara would be 83 years old today. Patricia would be 81. They'd have had lives, families, grandchildren. Instead, they're frozen forever as teenage girls in a 1950s photograph, smiling at the camera. The case reminds us that sometimes wrongdoing goes unresolved, that some mysteries may never be solved. But it also reminds us to never forget the victims, to keep telling their stories. So the next time you pass a missing persons poster or hear about a cold case, remember Barbara and Patricia Grimes. Remember that behind every cold case is a family that never got answers. The Grimes sisters went to see Elvis Presley one December night and never came home. That's a tragedy. But the real tragedy is that 60 years later, we still don't know who took them from us. So here's my question for you. What do you think happened to the Grimes sisters? Do you believe Kenneth Hansen's deathbed confession? Was Silas Jane involved? Or is there another theory we haven't considered? Drop your theories in the comments below. Should cold cases like this ever be closed? Or should investigators keep them open forever, no matter how much time passes? Let me know what you think. If you found this case as fascinating and heartbreaking as I did, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps get these forgotten stories out to more people who need to hear them. And if you want more mysterious true crime cases that most people have never heard of, hit that follow button right now.